God's chosen ones, what I'm about to share with you will challenge everything you once believed about what happens inside your body when you embark on a profound spiritual path. If you're here right now, there are no coincidences involved. God has led you to this exact moment because something powerful is happening within you, something that defies the usual explanations of science and logic. You've noticed subtle changes, perhaps in how you feel physically, in your energy levels, or even in your sleeping patterns. And you suspect there's something bigger at play. You are absolutely right. These mysterious body changes are a clear sign of your spiritual awakening, an undeniable signal that you're stepping into a higher version of yourself. If you are truly among the chosen ones, you will recognize the truth in these words, and stay with me until the end. Before we dive deeper, please do 3 simple things. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment the number 777 below. Typing 777 isn't just a symbolic gesture. It's a direct alignment with the divine energies that are guiding you right now. When you do so, you are telling the universe and God that you are ready to receive and manifest a profound transformation. Take a moment to reflect on your recent experiences. Perhaps you felt fatigue for no apparent reason, or maybe you've struggled with bouts of insomnia, lying awake at night with your mind buzzing as if new ideas and visions are downloading straight into your consciousness. Maybe certain foods you once craved now repel you, or your sense of taste and smell have sharpened, leading you to healthier, more natural options. These shifts can feel strange, even disorienting, but trust me, they are signs of a deeper shift in your being. You see, spiritual awakening is not just a metaphor for mental clarity. It is a full-body process that can touch every cell, every nerve, every subtle aspect of who you are. When God chooses you for a specific calling, your entire vessel, body, mind, and spirit, undergoes a kind of divine recalibration. God is essentially preparing your physical temple to carry more light, more wisdom, and more purpose. Let's explore another common experience: sudden fluctuations in body temperature. You might wake up sweating or feel chills at unpredictable moments, even when the environment around you hasn't changed. These temperature shifts can be perplexing. Doctors might say you're just fighting off a minor infection or stress, but on a deeper spiritual level, what's happening is that your energetic frequency is elevating. Think of it this way. When a computer processor receives a heavy influx of new data, it can heat up because of all the extra work it's doing. Your body is similarly processing higher frequencies of divine energy, and that extra work sometimes manifests as heat or cold. It's as though your spirit is forging a new blueprint for your life, and your body is feeling the effects. You might also notice subtle tingling or vibrating sensations, especially around your head, hands, or feet. This can feel like mild pins and needles or a gentle hum, particularly during prayer or meditation. What you are sensing is the movement of higher spiritual energies coursing through your physical structure. When you align more closely with God's purpose for you, the channels in your body that were once sluggish or blocked start to open. Energy that was locked away or stagnant flows again, revitalizing areas you never even realized were dormant. In these moments, pay attention to your thoughts and emotions, because they often contain crucial information about your next steps or the deeper purpose behind your awakening. Headaches or pressure around the forehead and temples are another mysterious change frequently reported during a spiritual awakening. These sensations can be mild or occasionally quite intense, almost like a band of pressure circling your head. While it's always wise to rule out medical causes, if you sense this pressure arises when you pray deeply, meditate, or immerse yourself in spiritual topics, you might be experiencing the expansion of your intuitive faculties. Some refer to it as the third eye awakening, a process in which your perception broadens to perceive truths beyond the everyday physical world. Do not be alarmed if this happens. Often, gentle breathwork, prayer, or even just placing your hand on your forehead and inviting peace can help alleviate discomfort. Understand that this is part of the rewiring process, an adaptation to receive new levels of spiritual insight. Some chosen ones also report a sudden cleansing or detoxification effect in their bodies. You might notice your skin becoming clearer or, paradoxically, breaking out briefly as toxins flush out. You might crave simpler, more wholesome foods, or find that your digestive system becomes ultra-sensitive to processed items and excessive sugar. This is not simply about adopting a healthier lifestyle by willpower alone. It feels almost like your body is commanding you to purify yourself. The reason is that low vibrational substances and energies no longer resonate with your rising spiritual frequency. God is preparing your house to be a sacred temple. If you feel drawn to more organic, plant-based diets or just eating lighter meals, trust that nudge. The changes are not a random fluke, but a deliberate sign that your body is aligning with your elevated spiritual state. Consider, too, the realm of emotions and how they manifest physically. Have you ever had random bouts of crying or sudden waves of sadness without a clear trigger? This emotional release can happen if you're shedding old traumas, generational patterns, or unresolved pain. It may feel overwhelming, but it's actually a sacred form of emotional detox. When your soul decides it's time to ascend to a higher truth, these buried emotions have to rise to the surface for healing. You might experience physical sensations in your chest or stomach as these deep feelings unravel. If this resonates, you're not losing control. You're stepping into a deeper authenticity, where no shadow or hidden wound can remain unacknowledged. God is guiding you to face what was once hidden, so that you can be entirely free to fulfill your destiny. Sleep patterns can also get turned upside down. Many of the chosen ones go through phases of inexplicable insomnia, finding themselves wide awake in the early hours of the morning with a racing mind filled with inspiration or revelations. Others might have the opposite experience, needing more sleep than usual and feeling intense fatigue as if their bodies can't get enough rest. Either way, the disruption often reflects that your spirit is operating on a new schedule, communicating with higher dimensions, or receiving downloads that don't align with the standard 9-to-5 pace of the world. If you're waking at odd hours, consider using that time for prayer or creative endeavors. There is a reason why these moments arise in the stillness of the night. They are your invitation to step into a sacred communion free from distraction. One of the most shocking yet profound bodily changes you might encounter is the alteration of your sensory perceptions. Sight becomes sharper, or you may see flashes of light or color in the corners of your vision. Hearing can become hypersensitive. You may suddenly notice background sounds like ticking clocks or humming electronics that never caught your attention before. Even your sense of smell could intensify, enabling you to pick up on subtle scents that indicate shifts in the environment or in people's emotional states. These heightened senses act as an expanded radar system, so to speak, enabling you to navigate your newly awakened world. While it can feel overstimulating at first, with time and prayer, you'll learn to ground yourself and harness these amplified perceptions for your spiritual mission. Another mysterious phenomenon is the sudden urge to move or stretch your body in unique ways. Some individuals find themselves drawn to yoga, qigong, or simple daily stretches, even if they've never been physically active before. Others experience spontaneous movements during prayer, as though energy is guiding them to shift positions. This physical fluidity is your body's way of releasing pent-up blocks and tension. Sometimes, spiritual power accumulates and needs a pathway to flow. Movement, guided by divine intuition, can help distribute this energy throughout your system, preventing it from bottling up and causing discomfort. Embrace this new inclination. It's not mere coincidence or restlessness. It's divine intelligence leading your body to adapt and flourish. You might also notice an intriguing phenomenon. Your relationships and social interactions could start to shift, and that shift manifests physically too. Maybe you feel uneasy in crowded environments or sense an overwhelming drain on your energy when around certain people. You're not becoming antisocial. Your spirit is growing more discerning. God is equipping you with a spiritual sensitivity that lets you gauge the vibes around you. This is often felt physically, like tightness in your chest or a knot in your stomach if the energy is negative, or an expansive warmth if it resonates with love and authenticity. Pay attention to these signals. Your body is telling you who and what aligns with your higher path. Sometimes, you may need to set boundaries or distance yourself from certain people, not out of judgment, but as an act of spiritual self-care. Now, let's address how to handle these mysterious changes in a practical, grounded way. The first key is mindfulness. Keep a journal of what you experience physically, noting the time of day, your emotional state, and what was happening around you. Patterns often emerge. Perhaps every time you meditate, you feel a tingling down your spine, or after a specific prayer, you feel a surge of heat. By recording these observations, you'll become fluent in your own awakening language, noticing how God is uniquely communicating with you through your body. In times of uncertainty, refer back to your journal. You'll see how consistently these phenomena are tied to moments of deep spiritual alignment, and it will reassure you that you're on the right track. Second, integrate short grounding exercises into your daily routine. One simple practice is to stand barefoot, if possible, on the earth or a solid floor. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and imagine roots extending from the soles of your feet into the ground. As you exhale, visualize any excess or chaotic energy flowing down these roots into the earth, where it can be transmuted. This not only stabilizes your body's energy, but also helps you feel centered, preventing some of the more uncomfortable aspects of spiritual shifts like dizziness or disorientation. Think of it as giving your newly elevated frequency a safe harbor in the physical realm. Third, prayer or intentional breathwork can be a literal lifesaver when these changes feel overwhelming. In moments of intense heat, swirling emotion, or sudden anxiety, pause and place your hand over your heart. Breathe in for a slow count of 4, hold for a moment, then exhale for another count of 4. Silently call upon God, asking for peace and clarity. Remind yourself that these physical sensations are part of your transformation. A simple phrase like, "I am safe, I am guided, and I am chosen," can anchor you amidst the waves of new energy. Speak it with conviction, letting the vibrations of your voice realign your body and spirit. Fourth, be prepared that your personal appearance might start changing as well. This can sound far-fetched, but many individuals notice shifts in their eyes. They become brighter or more luminous. Some see improvements in their skin or hair. Weight can fluctuate, sometimes up or sometimes down, as your body calibrates itself to match your emerging spiritual identity. It's not vanity. It's a reflection of your inner glow, manifesting in the physical realm. Instead of fearing these changes, celebrate them as milestones of growth. Even if you see a little more grey hair or a subtle difference in your facial structure, remember that God's anointing sometimes marks us in visible ways, preparing us to step into a role of service or leadership. Fifth, recognize that no two awakenings are identical. Comparing your body's experiences to someone else's can lead to unnecessary confusion or self-doubt. Maybe you've read about a friend who felt intense vibrations, but you only get mild shivers, or someone else who soared with euphoric bliss while you wrestle with fatigue. Avoid the trap of thinking you're behind or somehow missing out. God tailors each awakening to the individual's mission and timeline. A musician may find their sense of hearing magnified, while a healer could experience more tingling in their hands. Trust that what's unfolding is perfectly suited for your unique path. The only real measure of progress is whether you feel closer to God, more aware of your calling, and more capable of manifesting love, wisdom, and compassion in daily life. Let's bring in some real-life examples. Consider a young woman named Sarah who'd grown up in a fairly conventional environment. One night during prayer, she felt an intense warmth spreading through her chest, almost like a radiant sun that lit up her entire torso. Over the next week, she experienced vivid dreams, seeing symbols and colors she'd never encountered before. Physically, her appetite changed drastically. She craved fresh fruits and vegetables while losing interest in sugary snacks. At first, it alarmed her, but as she leaned into her faith, she realized these changes were part of her spirit aligning more intimately with God. She documented her experiences and found that each time she prayed, the warmth returned, guiding her to learn about healing practices. Today, she uses that spiritual heat in prayer sessions to bring comfort to those in need, having discovered that her mysterious body changes were part of a healing gift God blessed her with. Or picture James, a middle-aged man who'd been through a tough patch, job losses, relationship struggles, and a feeling of stagnation. One afternoon, as he contemplated his purpose, he felt a strange fluttering around his abdomen. The sensation kept happening, especially when he read inspirational texts or spent quiet moments in contemplation. He also found that certain junk foods he'd loved caused discomfort afterward. In prayer, it dawned on him that the fluttering in his gut was a prompting to trust his intuition and shift toward healthier habits. Driven by these body signals, James changed his diet, started volunteering at a local shelter, and eventually discovered a knack for motivating others. His body was literally nudging him toward a fresh life direction, one that would have been invisible if he hadn't paid attention to those subtle bodily cues. As you listen to these stories, pay close attention to the stirring in your own soul. Maybe you're recalling a time you felt an inexplicable rush of energy, or you're realizing that your recent insomnia might be more than mere restlessness. It could be a clarion call to pray, study, or write down the visions that dance through your mind at night. Perhaps your sudden aversion to certain foods or environments is your body's way of saying, "I'm done with low vibrational influences. I want purity and connection." Do not brush these experiences aside. Each is a piece of your personal puzzle, guiding you toward a destiny that's far bigger and richer than anything you've previously known. At this point, you might be wondering, why me? Why is my body the site of these strange yet profound changes? Because you are chosen, my friend. The path of a chosen one is rarely comfortable. It calls you to do things that seem mystifying to those around you. You might stand out, feel misunderstood, or question your own sanity from time to time. Yet, in your heart, you know this path was always yours to walk. God places specific gifts in each of us, and for you, these gifts come alive through your body, revealing new abilities, deeper empathy, or heightened spiritual insight. Embracing this truth isn't always easy, but once you do, you'll find that every cell in your body resonates with a transcendent sense of purpose, as if your entire being stands at attention, ready to fulfill God's calling. Let's pause and take a breath. If any of this resonates with you, remember to like this video, subscribe for more inspiring messages, and leave a comment with the 777. You're signaling not just to me or the community, but to the cosmic forces that govern synchronicity, saying, "Yes, I'm ready to align with my higher path." Don't underestimate the power of such a symbolic act. Numbers carry energy, and 777 is famously linked to spiritual perfection and the presence of divine guidance. By typing those digits, you're making a contract with the universe to openly receive more revelations, more blessings, and more synergy between your physical and spiritual lives. Now let's talk about a vital truth. This journey requires balance. With so many intense physical and spiritual experiences, it's easy to swing too far in one direction. You don't want to become so spiritually minded that you neglect the practical needs of your body: proper nutrition, exercise, rest. Likewise, you don't want to ignore your calling by drowning in the mundane. The key is integration. If you notice that your physical shifts are leaving you exhausted, it might be time to scale back on external commitments and allow for more restful nights. If you find yourself overly spaced out, lacking motivation, then perhaps you need to bring your awakened vision into tangible projects, feeding the hungry, volunteering, creating art, or supporting your community. The mysterious bodily changes are not meant to isolate you from the world. Rather, they are refining you so you can serve it better. In addition, staying connected with others on a similar path can ease the loneliness or confusion that often accompanies spiritual transformation. Whether through local communities of faith or online groups dedicated to spiritual growth, sharing your experiences can bring validation and clarity. When you hear others talk about feeling hot flashes during meditation or encountering vivid spiritual dreams, you realize you're not alone in these extraordinary phenomena. Just remember to remain discerning in your search for community. Lean on God's guidance to find spaces that honor your beliefs your authenticity, and the unique nature of your awakening. A significant aspect of bodily change many chosen ones overlook is the transformation in personal magnetism. As you awaken, you might observe that people react differently to you. Strangers strike up conversations out of nowhere, or you sense admiration or even envy from those around you. This is not a conceited notion. It's merely the reality that your energy is broadcasting at a higher frequency. Like a lighthouse in a storm, you stand out against the darkness. Some will be drawn to your light, seeking healing or guidance. Others, who fear change, might push back. Physically, you could feel an almost electric charge when you interact with people, as though your aura is more active. Trust your intuition on who to connect with deeply and who to handle with gentle boundaries. It's also crucial to keep humility at the forefront. Being chosen does not elevate you above anyone else in a self-righteous sense. Instead, it places a loving responsibility on you. You are gifted with a sharper awareness, a clearer sense of purpose, and a deeper alignment with divine will. Use these gifts to uplift others, not to brag or become aloof. The greatest measure of your spiritual growth is how well you love, how compassionately you serve, and how humbly you carry your heightened capabilities. When you anchor yourself in humility, you create a safe container for God's grace to flow without distortion. You might find that as your physical body changes, so does your voice. During worship, prayer, or even ordinary conversation, you could notice a new resonance or timbre. This can be especially pronounced when you speak affirmations or deliver an encouraging word to someone in need. It's as though your vocal cords are tuned to a frequency that carries spiritual power, breaking through emotional barriers or self-doubt in those who listen. Cherish this gift and remember to speak truth and love. Your words hold weight now, so use them thoughtfully, focusing on edification rather than criticism. Let's also touch on the phenomenon of light body activation, a term you might encounter in spiritual circles. It refers to the idea that as you ascend, your physical body becomes imbued with more subtle, higher vibrational energies, almost as if you're wearing a garment of divine light. While this concept can feel abstract, many chosen ones describe sensations of weightlessness or gentle waves of energy coursing over their skin. Others feel an elevated sense of purpose and clarity, as though their human limitations dissolve in moments of deep connection with God. Whether you call it a light body or simply an awakened presence, the essence is the same. You are expanding into a version of yourself that is more aligned with heaven's blueprint. Embrace it with reverence, for it is a sacred unfolding. Yet no spiritual awakening is complete without challenges. You may find new bouts of doubt cropping up, wondering if you're imagining these changes. People close to you may label it just stress, or dismiss it as some phase you'll grow out of. That's where faith steps in. Faith isn't ignoring reality. It's believing in the deeper reality, the one that God is revealing in your heart and body, even when external validations are lacking. Remember the accounts of biblical figures who felt perplexed or ridiculed when they received extraordinary callings. Joseph was mocked for his prophetic dreams, Moses questioned his ability to speak, and Mary pondered quietly about the miracle within her. Yet God's plans prevailed. So too will they in your life if you hold steady and trust the unfolding process. In the realm of practical application, Consider adopting a morning or evening ritual specifically to anchor your body and spirit. This can be as simple as lighting a candle, reading a psalm or a sacred text, and spending a few minutes meditating or praying. As you do this regularly, your body will learn to sync with the spiritual dimension more smoothly, lessening the disorientation that sometimes arises. You might also incorporate gentle stretching, repeating each day, "My body is a vessel of divine light, and I welcome transformation." This repetition, spoken with sincerity, imprints your conscious and subconscious mind with a positive blueprint for growth. Some chosen ones also find it helpful to keep certain crystals, holy items, or anointing oils around, sensing that these objects help stabilize or focus their newly heightened energies. Whether you find solace in a cross necklace, a piece of amethyst, or an essential oil like frankincense, remember these items are just tools. The real power comes from God and the intention you carry. If an object helps you tune into your divine frequency with greater ease, it can be a beneficial aid. Always approach such practices with discernment, ensuring they support rather than distract from your core relationship with God. Now, I want to highlight a critical point. Not every physical sensation you experience is necessarily spiritual. We live in a physical world with real biological processes. If you feel severe or persistent symptoms, it's wise to consult a healthcare professional. Part of being chosen is knowing when to blend spiritual wisdom with practical measures. However, if your intuition keeps telling you that certain changes are linked to your awakening, especially those that occur during prayer, meditation, or times of emotional release, don't be quick to dismiss them. This is where journaling, prayer for confirmation, and community input become invaluable, helping you discern between purely physical issues and true spiritual phenomena. As your journey continues, be prepared for wave upon wave of new experiences. Awakening is rarely linear. You might go through an intense surge of changes, then plateau for a while, only to be catapulted once again into fresh transformations. Think of these cycles as expansions and integrations. You expand into new levels of awareness, then integrate them into your daily life, and eventually expand again. Each cycle you gain more mastery over your body's signals, more clarity about your purpose, and more willingness to serve the divine plan. It's like climbing a spiral staircase. You keep rising higher, even if sometimes you feel like you're circling around the same issues at a new altitude. Another intriguing aspect is how your awakened body might respond to natural elements. Many chosen ones find solace in sunlight, as if they are literally drinking in its energy. Others feel magnetically drawn to water, rivers, lakes, or even daily baths, reporting that submerging themselves in water cleanses both body and spirit. You may also feel a deep connection to the moon's cycles, noticing shifts in your mood or physical energy in tandem with lunar phases. Instead of seeing this as superstition, view it as God's grand tapestry at work. The earth and celestial bodies operate in harmony, and as a spiritually attuned being, your body becomes sensitive to these universal rhythms. Embrace that connection and let it draw you closer to an awe-filled appreciation of creation's wonders. You might also observe heightened empathy, where you physically feel someone else's emotions as though they were your own. This can manifest as actual sensations in your body, like heaviness in your heart, a pit in your stomach, or warmth spreading across your chest. While this empathic sensitivity can be draining if you absorb too much negativity, it's also a powerful avenue for compassion and healing. Through prayer and mindful practice, you can learn to sense others' pain without letting it overshadow you. You become a conduit through which divine love flows, gently uplifting those around you. In that sense, your awakened body is an instrument of healing, reflecting God's mercy to a world hungry for connection. Let's not forget your spiritual mission in all this. These mysterious bodily changes are not just for your personal edification. God shapes you into a living testament of transformation, so you can shine the light for others. People around you might notice you radiate a certain peace or clarity. They might sense something different about you, even if they can't pinpoint it. That's your chance to gently share your testimony, to speak about how faith and surrender to God's will can bring about profound shifts, not just in mindset, but in the body itself. This is how you contribute to the collective awakening, offering hope to those still mired in doubt or fear. As we approach the close of this message, reflect on the wonder of it all. Your body, once just the vehicle for your day-to-day survival, has become a sacred instrument in a grand divine concerto. Yes, you might still face aches and challenges, but now you see them from a higher vantage point. Each mysterious sensation, each shift in appetite, each wave of emotion is part of your soul's evolution. You are, in essence, becoming more of who God intended you to be, a luminous being who walks this earth with grace and purpose, bridging heaven and earth through the miracle of a human life aligned with the Creator. If you have stayed with me this long, I'm convinced you feel that stirring in your core. Something is telling you this isn't just a random video. You're hearing your own journey echoed in these words. That's the confirmation you've been seeking, the divine nudge letting you know that you're not alone. You're not imagining these changes, and you're not going crazy. You are chosen. Your spiritual awakening is real, and your body is the living, breathing testimony of that truth. So, one final time, I invite you, like this video, subscribe and comment 777. In doing so, you align yourself more fully with the unstoppable force of awakening that is sweeping through your life. Take heart, chosen one. Though it may be mysterious, even daunting, these body changes are your proof that God is rewriting the script of your existence. Where once you walked in confusion, you will walk in clarity. Where once you feared the unknown, you will embrace it as your sacred path to deeper faith. Remember, every breath you take, every beat of your heart, and every cell in your body is now resonating with divine purpose. You are on holy ground wherever you stand. Embrace the journey, for it is shaping you into a beacon of love, wisdom, and transformative power. And as you continue forward in faith, know that no matter how overwhelming these changes might feel, you carry within you the greatest assurance of all. You were chosen by God, and this awakening is the undeniable sign that your destiny is unfolding in perfect, mysterious, and miraculous ways.